From the campus lights to the game day fight, Texas dust on the boots, packed out stands in the sun. Every school has a story, every season has one. Turn it up, lean in close, hear that crowd start to roll. The Corey Home Sports Show, the Corey Home Sports Show. Big stories and real conversations, bring the truth, let it roll. The Corey Home Sports Show, the Corey Home Sports Show. For the schools beyond the spotlight, where the heart of the game still shows.
Hello. It is the Corey Hogue Sports Show. Welcome in. Thank you for watching. If you are watching on Facebook, you could be watching on Substack, and you could be watching on the YouTube channel. And if you are watching live, and you have the ability to comment if the platform allows it. I'm not sure if Substack does. You can always scan the code on the screen. That'll kind of get you in. You can leave comments. You can leave whatever it is. Come on in and let me hear from you. Let me hear what you got to say. Go start. We need to start every show keeping it honest, right? How are things going? Because I owe this to you. You guys are the subscribers. You guys are the ones watching, and you're the ones that I do this for, right? And so without you, there's no point in me doing this. Speaking of that, I want to say special hello to my brother Ricky. He sent me a text a minute ago with a countdown on his phone. One of these days, I hope he allows me to tell the story I want to tell about us, me and him, and just things. It is a remarkable story. He's one of the most remarkable people. He is a true inspiration to what has been going on and all these changes. There is so much. I'm telling you, I'm not always the most religious type, but there is a power in the universe. I do know that. And this man is a testament to that. So one day I'd hope to be able to tell that story. But he's always been my biggest fan, always. From the time, once we stopped fighting, once we grew up a little bit as children, I've never had a bigger fan than him. And so, yeah. I want to send him a big shout out. And that kind of goes in. Look, I'm a little over a month now into starting this new process, right? This journey of weight loss that is putting into play what I've been talking about, which is the earn, right? With effort, attitude, response, no excuses, never quit. Things are going well. Things are on the right path. I'm stringing together good days. It's consistency. That is what's going on. What's up, homie? Hey, Homan, how are you doing, sir? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. It is in the hardest thing. If you read the post when I announced that I was going to be doing this show, in that post, it talked about how the hardest thing to do is consistent success. And what is success? And to do that, for me, I just want consistency mentally. I want consistency in the life. And so I need a schedule. I have one, and it's working very well. And the support system. I've got what I need, the structures in place. It's on me to do it. And to every day put in my best effort, have the right attitude, respond to life, because life gives you problems. Right? Life throws crap at you every single day. How are you going to respond? There's a right way and a wrong way, a proper way and a not proper. Choose the proper way, which means a lot of times take a breath and then respond. That's a hard one for me. I'm still working on that a lot of times. And then never quit, no excuses, right? It's easy to make excuses. And a lot of this, like I was talking about earlier this week on Monday, I was talking about this, and it goes into, well, I should have done that. There we go. Look at that. Producer talking, not working. That's okay. So anyway, back on track here. this got me thinking this morning on my walk about today's football conference predictions. The American Southwest Conference. And we'll get to my predictions here in a little bit. And I got a little something for you that I think is something that it's time we all discuss and talk about, because there's a very big part of that. And part of this kind of goes with Earn as well. But I started thinking about the old Price is Right when I used to watch it as a kid. They had the cliffhanger show. I don't know if they still do. I haven't watched it in years. But they had the cliffhanger. And I thought about that, because when you look at the cliffhanger, there's a mountaintop, right? That's the sunshine. That's the roses. That man's down at the bottom. And each one of those little things, that's a step up to the top of that ladder. That to me speaks volumes. Now, when you put in, we talked about the 4 stoic virtues, but I want to really dive more into Saban's process and how Earn kind of helps into that, how it's like a structure underneath that. And the process is, the goal is your goal, and you can choose any goal, but Nick Saban, the goal is a national championship. That's the sun, right? The national championship is the sun. But to do that, each one of those little steps, those are games, right? And to stay in the process is to stay in the moment, to be where your feet are, right? A lot of coaches talk about that all the time. Stay in that moment. How am I? But where it misses is, how do I win this moment? Right? Okay, so for me to win game 1, for me to take that first step up that ladder, what do I have to do to get there? Well, I've got set 6 days of preparation. And what am I doing each moment of those 6 days? Because if I do the best and take those steps needed each of those 6 days, the game will work out in my favor far more often than not. It's how you have success. The problem is, we're all human. And the other side is also, by the way, trying to follow that same path and win that same game. That's why winning a national championship requires fortune. It does. The ultimate success, whether life or whatever, it requires fortune. You can't do it without getting the ball bounced your way. 4th quarter, late, running back fumbles it, either bounces in his arms or yours. You don't control at that point. You cause the fumble, right? You don't control at that point. That's just the fortune. And there's a part of that that's going to be there. And that's just that's life. And life is going to throw those things. Brent says, proud of you, my man. Keep pushing. Life sucks. We all got to see the good things we get to experience. That is true. And I get to, and part of this is that, again, it's the honesty and the talking about this stuff with you guys, because I think we all go on our own journey. So, like, instead of a national championship, my goal is right now, let's say it's a weight loss. Well, if I'm looking at that number every day, if all I'm doing is staring at the sun, I'm going to lose track. I'm going to fall, right? And positivity builds positivity, and negativity breeds negativity. Always has, always will. So if I can put a good day together today, tomorrow I can put a good day together. But what goes into making those good days? What goes into making it a good hour, a good meeting, whatever it is? It's where Earn comes in. Because if you're not giving your best effort with a proper attitude, making the right response, and you don't quit, and don't make excuses. Sometimes things don't work. You may have done everything well all week long. It didn't work. You lost on Saturday. Find out why. Don't make excuses. Well, we were just unlucky. Okay, yes, but let's dig in. There's probably a few plays we could have done a little better at times. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to see those flaws that you can still work on. That's part of that consistent success, is being honest with yourself. Brett says the scale is a liar. It's not. It's about how you feel. Don't pay attention to the number. Pay attention to the close. And no, I get it. But the scale also tells a story. when you step on that. And the scale's telling a much better story for me now than it was. A lot of it is because every day I'm putting in my best effort. Look, yesterday when I went out for the walk, my legs didn't quite have that power, didn't quite have the pace that I wanted to get. I've been trying to get. But I had that on Wednesday. I had it today, right? But yesterday I had to back off a little bit because this is what I've learned in this whole thing. If I'm putting out max effort all the time, I'm gonna run dry. Your body is going to shut down on you eventually. And that's what was happening to me. I was putting in way too much hours and stuff. And right now I'm still building back. I'm not back yet by any means. But this is going to be a process. It's going to be slow. It's going to take time, and I don't care how long a time it takes. And it's a journey. To be successful, got to stay on that path, which means I don't care what the sun says. I don't care about each one, how high up some of those steps are on the ladder. I don't care because I'm focused on today. And at the end of the day, how's my mood journal? Did I have a good day? Did I have a neutral day? You know what? Did I have a bad day? And can I help that, right? I mean, look, not every day goes great. Again, life throws things at you. Maybe you get a flat tire on the way to work or something, right? How are you going to respond? There's a proper way and an improper way to respond. And if you respond where you take a step back and think about it and work your way through, you're in a much better position, which means you got to have a good attitude. One of my things is when I step off every morning, I said this Monday, but first quarter mile, I'm taking inventory. I'm taking inventory of my legs. I'm taking inventory of my body, and I'm taking inventory of my mind. Where am I today? Am I a little aggravated? Did I sleep well last night? That's usually a good sign I didn't. I'm on medication that's trying to help me not remember dreams and not be vivid in them right now. So that's helping, but also still going through it mentally at nighttime, right? And physically, I'm going through those dreams still, and I don't realize it. So in the next morning when I get going, maybe I'm a little more grumpy. Okay, I got to take some medicine. I gotta do some things. I got to calm. I got to breathe. The exercise helps, right? All those things to do to go keep that under control. And at the end of the day, if I've noticed that, and at the end of the day, I can say that's a neutral day or a slightly positive day, then I won that day. And those are what I'm building. That's consistent success for me. So while yesterday my best effort was less than maybe I had hoped for, that's what I had. Because if I go too hard, I'm going to injure myself. If I push it past it, I'm going to end up missing 2 weeks. Well, now that's a whole brand new habit started. Don't want to do that. It's about consistency. And that's where Nick Saban was so genius, because it's the consistency. It's the process. And the process requires the consistency, and the consistency requires your best effort. And you're going to fail. I'm telling you right now, you're going to fail at times. The key is noticing that and getting right back on track. That's why you got to be honest with yourself. But the reason why I start off the opening show here with the ultimate success requires fortune, because I think that goes right into the American Southwest Conference and their predictions. And here you see, I've got UMHB at the top, Hardin-Simmons, followed by McMurry, Howard Payne, East Texas Baptist, and Schreiner. 6 teams in the ASC. Glad to see it. Glad to see them be able to keep that playoff bid, right? That's crucial. That's vital there. All right. The ASC. Also, hey, McMurray returned. Schreiner played a developmental schedule last year. They were 5-1 last year on that. They're coming in looking to try to be as competitive as possible. Being at the bottom, I don't know that they're going to be surprised by that. They might use a little bit of that as motivation too, which is awesome. The top team, though, I have Mary Hardin-Baylor. Crusaders won their final 5 games last year. They finished 7-3. They shared the American Southwest Conference title. And listen, The last few years has been different. They've had to play Hardin-Simmons twice each year. That's been a disadvantage. Now they're back to playing once. And remember what I said about fortune. When I get down here to Hardin-Simmons, we're going to talk about some of that. And it's why UMHB is number one. On top of, because they tend to find a way to pull out those games. But on top of this, they also have 8 offensive starters, 7 defensive starters are scheduled to be back. They should be improved. They were improved last year under Larry Harmon, and it's only going to get better. And I'll tell you, the standards are high at Mary Hardin-Baylor, and Larry Harmon understands this, and he knows he must meet this, and the fans will hold him to account of it. And so I no doubt the man can coach. Every year is a prove-it year at UMHB. That's how you have consistent success, though. Those expectations are high. That's what you got to have, right? And then you got to be able to do it. And he knows this. He understands the earn with the process each day. Can't focus on that carrot at the end. And you got to, when you get to that first win, you celebrate that. Hey, we did great this week. Great job. Okay, hey, did good. Now let's evaluate ourselves and let's get back to work because we got to earn this next week. He understands it, and very much so. They've got enough experience. They're going to reclaim the top position, in my opinion. The major question is, can they close the gap that Hardin-Simmons kind of exposed during last year's 34-7 loss? I'm not sure what a gap there might be in that one. I don't know that was necessarily as much of a talent gap per se. I will say this. Hardin-Simmons, who I have number 2, has closed that talent gap considerably with Mary Hardin-Baylor. There were years they were not stepping with equally on the same field, but Jesse Burleson and crew have upped their recruiting, and they have upped the level of play, and that's a large reason why they can compete with Mary Hardin-Baylor. They finished, the Cowboys were 9-2 last year. Got them a share of the ASC title with UMHB. They're returning fewer starters. They have an established culture, though. And this is the thing about Jesse Burleson. He is a fantastic coach. He's a highly successful coach. Success in the fact of, look at his win percentage. The man knows how to win. Oh, hey, Brent Holman said he's been hitting the gym since January and reffing basketball in between. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Keep going, man. It helps mentally, too. That's the thing. All that stuff helps mentally, no doubt. So keep that up, dude. Really proud of you. Really am. Back to Hardin-Simmons. They don't have as much experience coming back, and I thought UMHB was pretty talented last year. Hardin-Simmons was very talented. How talented are they with that experience? That can be a problem sometimes. Here's the thing, and where ultimate success requires fortune sometimes. What is avoided Hardin-Simmons under the Jesse Burleson era is a playoff victory. You gotta say it. We gotta talk about it. Hardin-Simmons' success is not judged by winning the ASC this year. I think we've gotten to the point where it's about winning the playoff game. And they can, and I think they will. There's a mental block at times because it gets to when it happens so much, and that's what people want to talk about, right? We all of us want to talk about the elephant in the room. They haven't won a playoff game. The players in the room can't talk about that. The coaches, you know what? You admit that. That's true. So what? That's just a fact. Handle it and go about your business. Use that to give out, maybe if you got a little more aggression that day, to get out in the gym, right? Use that as that motivation to get maybe a little bit different, a little bit better. But there's also times, I think right now, Hardin-Simmons is going to have one of those games where they just get the fortune. The bounce goes their way. They don't drop a pick six, right? A sure pick six drop. That don't happen. The problem is when mentally you're thinking about having not won a playoff game, you start putting pressure on yourself. And when there's already pressure on you. And so when you start putting pressure on yourself, now you're trying too hard to be perfect. And that's when those mistakes come up. And that's where the fortune can kind of work against you. You can create your own fortune. But you got to be focused on the here and now. And I think that playoff week, that's got to be the message. Men, it's true. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. Right? Now, what are you going to do about it? Jeff Duncan says UMHB will likely win the ASC. HSU will be a little younger on offense. Can HPU or McMurry make a move for the number 2 spot? And you bring up a wonderful, wonderful thing. The question I have, though, for Hardin-Simmons quickly is, do they replace enough on experience on defense to remain the top team? I have McMurry number 3, but let me tell you, that gap is closing quickly here. Howard, Payne, they are doing it. But Jordan Hill, still outstanding job at McMurry. I won't say they're quite a championship contender yet. They did win back-to-back titles in the SCAC, but that is a different conference. They finished 6-4 last season. I don't know that they are good enough to win with breaks and everything kind of break. A lot of fortune to top 2. And to say that they could possibly, that's a compliment to Jordan Hill and what he has done at McMurry. It really is. He's got a deep roster, an experienced roster. Can they turn this into something? Can they get those? One of those. They've been close. They've been close, especially Hardin-Simmons. They've been close. And again, that's a mentality thing. You can't think of them as better than you. Got to think of them as the place I got to get. Talk about Howard Payne. Holy moly. They had a good season. Josh Gipson's first season. You talk about a great coach. This guy gets it. He gets it. And that's why Howard Payne is on their way to, will they replace McMurry as number 3? I think it's possible this year. Are they quite ready to give Hardin-Simmons or UMHB the trouble if things were to really break right? I don't. I think that it's going to take – there's a lot of depth needed, a lot more depth needed to get there. And that's one thing McMurray's going to have trouble with is the depth of playing against. There are 5 solid teams when you count in ETBU and Schreiner. 6 solid teams. It's not going to be easy. No game is ever easy. No win is ever easy. You got to earn them, like we talk about, right? So I think this is how it'll play out, but I wouldn't be surprised to see any number for the 3, 4, 5 area, because I think all 3, they have great coaches. They know what they're doing. But Howard Payne is really Gipson is so impressive. He is so impressive. They're going to return a lot from last year. They're still building. I think it's going to take them some time still to get that depth to compete with the top teams in the conference. Number 5, I've got ETBU. They won 4 games in a row to begin last year, and they lost 6 straight. And it was a little bit, obviously you had your ups, then you had your downs. And remember, one thing Nick Saban always says too, success is a poison. It is. That's why it's hard to be consistently successful, because it is a poison. It feels good. I'm doing good. Now it's easy to make an excuse as to why I don't got to do it tomorrow. The only reason you feel good is because you're doing those things. And as soon as you forget that, you're going to fall. That's just the truth. That's life. That's what you got to try to avoid. That's why you got to be honest with yourself. Honest about those things all the time. And again, East Texas Baptist, I think last year, that's a good sign, right? It can snowball. Negativity breeds negativity. And I think that snowballed for them last year. Can they regain that early season confidence and avoid one of those losing streaks this year? That will be very telling for the Tigers. I put Schreiner at 6. It's entering its first full varsity season. They've got a lot of preparation playing those 6 developmental games last year. Keith Allen has had time to kind of establish and build the roster, but competing against established D3 programs for an entire season, really going to test the depth. And exactly what kind of depth can you build at Schreiner when you're just starting a program and those kids aren't playing a competitive game for 1 or 2 or 3 years, right? Like, it's hard. It's hard to convince them. So I think it's still going to take some time for them to build up to that and get through that challenge. So it's about depth, especially on the line of scrimmage. That's where it's hard to build that depth. The line of scrimmage is where it is. All right. I am going to take a 15-second break. I'll be right back. We're going to talk Southland Conference and FCS attendance metrics. Interesting stuff to see. Return shortly. Welcome back. This is the Corey Hogue Sports Show, and I'm Corey Hogue. I want to say thank you very much for all those who are watching YouTube, Facebook, Substack. If you could comment, get in. I want to know your thoughts. Found this interesting on Twitter this week. SLC Sports Report on Twitter. Let me get my notes off quickly here so I can see this better. Report SLC at Report SLC on Twitter or X posted the final total attendance numbers for 25-26 for soccer, volleyball, football, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and softball. Now, first note, not all these schools have a team in these sports, which Texas A&M Corpus Christi finishing 7th without a football team is very impressive. Also sad for a few of the schools below it. And there's one of these that's seriously, what are you doing? The top, though, I don't think anyone's surprised to see UTRGV and McNeese at the top, along with SFA. I think it's great. The SFA will get attendance. Again, you win, they will come. And Lamar is proven the same way. If you win, they will come. Southeastern, the attendance is okay. Northwestern State is pretty impressive considering that they're building, we'll say, in a lot of different sports. Still trying, right? But for them to be 6 is something. Corpus Christi, great totals of attendance. Nichols at 8. A little disappointed there. I just thought, maybe they'd have a little more support. Houston Christian at 9th. And you know what? Not bad. That's not horrible. Listen, I get it. 39,072 is just not a lot of people. But they're not last. And there's 2 from Texas below them. Is it good for Houston Christian? No, they got room to grow. They can still get better. They're in Houston. You can get a lot more, but it takes time. You got to build it. Got to have success. I think Jason Bachtel and company is on the path. Number 10, East Texas A&M. What in the world are you doing in 10th? Why are you in the Southland end? If your people aren't going to support you, what are you doing? Not that you can't compete, because you can. When we look at the national stats here in a minute, the national figures, you'll see. But East Texas A&M, what is your excuse? Why can't you get your people out? You're not that far from the Metroplex. I'm not saying you're in DFW. You're not far. You can't get them there. Yeah, maybe the new arena will help. Maybe. You gotta really, there's still some bridging that needs done with the Lions, I think. And, there's still some bridges that need repaired. Hopefully they're not staying there. UIW at 11th, that's sad, actually, really sad, because they've got an outstanding football program, a coach that you can get behind in Clint Killow. They've got the basketball gym's not that big. But they have a good baseball team. They should draw some to the baseball. They can be competitive in softball. And they're in San Antonio. They're in a beautiful campus, heart of San Antonio. I would hope UIW would be better. They also have a 3A football stadium, and they understand that. But they're also kind of landlocked. Like, how are they going to build any bigger inside there? There's a lot of problems that they face. I don't have the answers. I wish I did on there. Hey, Charlie Chitwood just sent me a text. Said, glad to see you. Good to see you up and at it. Thank you, sir. I am so glad to have you watching. You are one of the best. The voice of those East Texas A&M Lions, which are now rightly called East Texas A&M for a change. At the bottom of the conference was the University of New Orleans. I don't think that's a surprise. Just like it's hard to get people out to San Antonio, it's got to be maybe a little more difficult to get them out inside New Orleans for college sports. But a big thing here, one thing I want to note, the conference total attendance, 1,104,079. That's the best since 2018, 2019. They're on the right path. This conference a few years ago was not on the right path. Chris Grant has changed that. They're on the right path. I've got questions if the path could get a little bumpy. Some recent changes and some personnel around conference office. I'm not going to go into that. I'm a little skeptical about some things right now. Time will tell. We'll see. When you look at the total attendance from FCS, I don't think it's going to be a surprise. Soccer, volleyball, football, men's, women's, basketball, baseball, softball, Montana State top 2. They don't have anything else to do. And I'm not being mean. That's honest. They don't have anything else to do. So they do that. They go to these games in big numbers all the time. Number 3, Tarleton. Number 3 in all of FCS with attendance. Say what you want, but the Texans can get people to games. They know how to get people involved. They know how to reach out. They know how to get people active, and they have built something very special in a short amount of time, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. South Dakota State, number 4. UTRGV, number 5. Not surprised. Outstanding to see UTRGV there. And the Valley is such a crazed sports town. So crazy. They love the Vaqueros. It is awesome. It is a great place to be. Southern, not surprised, man. That Southern, some of those SWAC schools will turn up. Jackson State's 9th on there. Some of those SWAC fan bases, they know how to keep that alive, that passion for that school, that love for that school. That's what Tarleton develops. That's what East Texas A&M is missing. That's where some bridges probably need a little bit of help, right? It takes time, but got to be on that path. McNeese, number 7. That's good. That's a good place for them to be. Not surprised. Again, they get a lot of. They're known to have a lot of support there, especially when you have a good men's basketball team. They have a gorgeous little arena. It's nice. Illinois State, they're number 8. Northern Iowa, number 10. So that's your FCS national. I think everything is on the right path for the Southland Conference. And I think I would like to see Abilene Christian get up there. I mean, what else do you have to do in Abilene? Go support. I know you've got Hardin-Simmons. You can support them too. But, man, you got D1 baseball, beautiful facilities right there. They're competitive. You know, you got to go. Got to go watch. Got to get people. All right. Hey, I'm going to take a 15-second break here. I will be right back. I am back. And hey, guess what? I'm going to change to another cryon here, another screen, and it's going to show the wrong one. There we go. How about that? World Cup, Spain, Argentina to meet in the final on Sunday. Spain controlled France 2-0. France questioning the ref. That's just making excuses. Don't do that. It's not cool at all. But Spain rolled them. England and Argentina. Argentina won't die. And by the way, before I get into Spain, Argentina, let's talk about England, France. I wanted to see it, and I get to just third place game, not the championship. That's fine. I think they're still going to bring the heat. I think these teams are still going to bring it and be ready to play and put it out there because they just don't like each other. Big thing, though, they're likely without Bellingham. Bellingham hit a guy. I think I would be surprised if Bellingham plays after hitting a guy after the game. It just doesn't seem like he should. I think Vegas feels the same way. France is a -110 favorite. That's quite a bit, especially for this level of soccer. But if England without Bellingham or even with the distraction, I still think France wins that one. Now about the final. You have Spain with an incredible back line, incredible defense, good midfield, good defensive midfielder. Cucurella is a gnat. He is such a gnat. Man, he's a cockroach. That's what my daughter used to call them, cockroaches. They just don't die. You hit the ball all over the tennis court, they go get it. Well, that's the way it is with him on the soccer pitch. This dude can just you don't kill him. You just he is so hard, so tough. But Argentina? They don't die. Spain is plus 130. Spain is the favorite in the World Cup final. So who do I pick? I've been picking a lot of these favorites, and it bit me in the semifinals. I'm not going with the favorite. The difference between England and Argentina was one team has about 8 strikers that are high quality and a GOAT, and the other did not. And when you look at Spain, they are an outstanding team, but they don't have the GOAT. And Messi doesn't care about scoring. Messi cares about winning. And those assists that he gave for those goals were incredible. And that's why Argentina will win the World Cup. That's my pick. I know. My son is extremely happy about that. Tour de France, Tadej Pogačar is still up there. They've got a couple of hard mountain stages coming up. It's been interesting. Been really fun to watch the last few days. They are entering mountain stages. It should be on NBC this weekend. Catch that if you can. These guys are incredible. It has been one of the quickest, if not the quickest, Tour de France in history. Like in history? Seriously, they're flying. They did over 60 miles, over half the course today in less than 2 hours. It was nuts. Then they still had climbs to go at the end. It's crazy. It's crazy. Give it a watch. Tadej is outstanding. I think Jonas Vingegaard, he'll end up second. The race for third still close. Pitcock put a little dent into that today, so we'll see how that turns out. And the team race also, that's going to be a fun one to watch and keep up with. There's still a week to go in the Tour de France, and they'll have a rest day Monday. But we'll go back and see where they are heading into the final week. The home run derby, boy, did some people really have opinions about this. Shocking, right? We all like to complain. Lowest TV audience for a home run derby since 2003. I think part of that is because it was on Netflix. Part of that's because nobody knew it was on Netflix. The other part is a lot of people have Netflix, but there's a lot of people who still aren't going to buy Netflix. You know, we're going to protest. You get a percentage of that. But I think not having it on the ready-made cable, it's hurting, and it's going to continue to. It just is. I know the NFL's been able to probably kind of overcome that, but I don't know that other sports can. Not baseball right now, especially since you're facing a possible another labor shortage. We'll, I'm sure I'll have plenty of time to discuss those things. I didn't have a problem with the home run derby. Listen, there's some people calling for Chris Berman to come back. Please don't. Like, Chris Berman to me was obnoxious. I just didn't like him. If you did, that's fine. This isn't personal. That's just my opinion. My taste was not a Chris Berman. I don't have any positive or negative. I was neutral about I'm there to watch people hit long home runs. I thought the format worked well. I thought it was fun. I thought it provided drama to the end. And I love Philly fans. They are Philly fans. I'm really, really love those Philly fans. In the All-Star game, people talking about it 4-0. No, that was baseball, right? Like, that was a heck of a pitching performance by the AL. And outside of the first inning, the National League had some great pitching. We've done things to lower spin rates to try to keep pitchers from being so dominant, and look, they still are. Stop it. Let us enjoy this. The hitters are going to catch up. The hitters are going to have their time. I promise you. Something else that happened, and this kind of rankled me a little bit, and it was the Texas Rangers' sudden change in streaming company. Moving from Victory Plus to Buzzer, BZZR, right in the middle of the season. I could think of 100 million reasons not to do this. I don't care if in the end you think it's going to be better. People paid, you were charging almost $1 a game, $150 to watch this that don't really even have a good team. No offense. It's really not that great. I get they're leading the West right now, but have they looked good? Would you want to watch that in the playoffs right now? I wouldn't. And I'm starting to really sour on this Rangers ownership. I think they're starting to drop to some of the worst, not just in baseball. Maybe worst in sports. I really do. And I hate to see it because I love the Rangers. But I promise you, I'm not paying that kind of money to watch that. I pay $6.50 a month to watch MLB Network. Whatever games they show there, I enjoy it because I love baseball. I'm a Rangers fan. But nope, I'm not watching every single one of their games. I'm not paying that money. And you're paying $150, and there's games every Friday night you can get on regular TV. And then you'll get Sunday night baseball sometimes. So it's not worth it. The value was not there for me. But this is a blow to Victory Plus. A huge blow to Victory Plus. What does it mean for Victory Plus? What does this mean for the Texas High School Football State Championships? I know from my previous company how important these championships are to that company and how important the rights are to this. And I know we've gone through a lot of changes. But if Victory Plus is unstable, what happens? Do the state football championships can you no longer watch them again? I don't know the answer. Time will tell. It'll play out, I'm sure. I'm sure there's some nervous people behind the scenes right now at some of these places. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of meetings happening. I'm sure there are. It's got to be. This was it's a blow. It's a blow to Victory Plus. It's a blow to Ranger streaming. Fans aren't going to follow you. Like, what are you doing to your fans? You're expecting your fans to now download a whole new app that's not even available for your TV yet. Don't make it hard. If you want people to watch you, make it available to them. You're making it hard, and people aren't going to go through the work. I love baseball. I'm a Rangers fan. I refuse to do it. Now, imagine how an average fan or below average fan feels about it with passion. I'm above average passionate for a Rangers fan. Imagine how the below average feels if I am done with it. That's what they got to think about. The Rangers ownership has got to start thinking more about the fans. And until they do, Man. Hey, other baseball news. Did you see who was traded to the Houston Astros this week? Cecil Fielder's grandson, Prince Fielder's son. Guys, we're old. We're getting old. Really, we are. The last thing I have for today is the ESPY Awards, were earlier this week. And I don't know if you saw this, but this was one of the funniest things that happened to me when Mike Tyson was presenting an award that Shohei Ohtani won. And apparently, Mike did not know that Shohei is a guy. Listen to what he says after, I believe it's Paul Pierce, told that Shohei was not able to be at the ESPY Awards. Here it is.
The ESPY Award goes to, check this out, Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei could not be here tonight. He sends his gratitude and appreciation to ESPN and everyone who voted for him.
Shohei's the guy.
Okay, first off, it's Jake Paul, not Paul Pierce. My bad. Jake Paul was the one who said, Tyson goes, Shohei's a guy. Jake just answers it. Yeah. DJ Colin's like, I'll just raise the trophy and leave, man. Fantastic. Fantastic TV. That was outstanding. That was great. And with Shohei not being there, right? Well, guess what? He wasn't at the All-Star game either. And I know that was one of the things, real quick before I get off of here, there was some talk about people not attending. You can't force them. I mean, listen, and there's some things about the Olympics, like you're going to have to play. That stuff ain't going to work. Stop it. I thought let's enjoy who wants to play. If you don't want to play, don't be there. It's an exhibition game. Have fun with it. Stop trying to make it more than it is. Stop finding things to complain about. Goodness, that stuff gets old. So that's how we end this week, right? That stuff gets old. Me complaining about people complaining. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back on Monday, and Monday will come the SCAC 2026 football predictions, which means after that will come the LSC, and we'll get into some FCS conferences at the end of next week and early the week after. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Find me on social media channels at Corey Hogue Sports, CORYHOGUE Sports. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay blessed.
Clear, sharp and bold, covering every team, every season, every story worth being told. The Corey Hogue Sports Show, the Corey Hogue Sports Show. Big stories and real conversations, bring the truth, let it